Showtime.
Wait, are we unmuted? Okay, good.
We are unmuted, I think.
I thought I missed that button.
I think I can hear. I think everyone else can hear. Y'all can hear us.
No, we're good. It's going.
What's
All
up, everybody?
It's going. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Dudes and Belts Recharge Post Show here on Twitch, YouTube, and Rumble. I am your host, Johnny Deathdrop, as always. And wow, what a show we got. There's a lot to talk about here, a lot of moving parts, and we're going to take care of this as much as humanly possible because, again, there are a lot of stories to catch up on, a lot of things in motion, a lot of heated exchanges, a lot of good matches. Had a couple matches basically announced for no Thanksgiving. There's a lot to really talk about here. So before we get into everything that we saw tonight on Charge, let's introduce the panel for this evening. On the left, we have the one that lives way up there on the east coast of Maine, the inventor of the Weekend to Week, the one and only Coastal Crusader.
What's going on, Johnny? I was on the call tonight, and I got to say, the action on the outside of the ring was almost as hot as the action inside of the ring, judging from what I saw on the broadcast.
How's the weather down there?
You mean over there?
Over there, whatever. Okay, we're not starting this again. We went through this on Sunday,
here, but
we're not.
No, it's nice, it's crisp, it's fall. It's my favorite season. It's spooky season, man.
It's been like summer here, man. It was 82 degrees here. What are you doing wearing that hoodie? Take it off.
What?
It's not.
No, I listen. I keep my hotel room at morgue. Like Marky freezes his gonads off when he gets here. And he's taking the ring down right now, which is why he is not on here right now. They made him take the ring down. I came back here to do the show, and they had these cool little spooky season cups in the hotel, so it was pretty cool.
And of course, filling in tonight for KD, going into the bullpen here, we have the voice of Ignition. He is the encyclopedia of Rocky Mountain Pro, the one and only Lucas Bradwell.
Yeah, I'm not Mariano Rivera, but I'm pretty good. I can come out of the bullpen every once in a while. So, yeah, I'm glad to be here. Glad to fill in for KD and Coastal. You've been doing a great job on commentary, buddy. It's been great hearing you
so
and
much.
Dean. So, hey, I'm ready to get to everything we watched tonight because, geez, you're right, Johnny. Just so much to talk about.
There really is. Before we continue on, let's say hello to everybody that has tuned in thus far. I'm sure there are a lot more of you watching. We have Karan Jones, Bruce Wayne's. Put me on, Johnny. Put me on.
Daddy, put the final boss on the show, Daddy. We need him on the show.
It's definitely crossed my mind, that's for sure.
Chop.
Alice Lane, Queen. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I was just going to say, we need to chop it up with the final boss, Bruce Wayne's, right here on the Dudes.
Well, let's see what the fans think. Fans, do you want Bruce Wayne's and Atiba to hop on with us at some point this month before No Thanksgiving? Let us know in the comments below. What's up, Queen, Sarah, and Jill? I think that's it.
I think asking that question is like asking people do you want free pizza? I'm like,
do you like money?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't know? Chadwick TC on Twitch. How's it going? Oh, we got the Chopper City emotes going over on YouTube. Yeah, I think that's definitely a very good decision on our part. So, yeah, we might have to get in touch with Chopper City at some point this week and see if we can make it happen. All right. But before we get into everything here, let's go with... Where are we here? My notes are everywhere because it's just been so chaotic here. All right, here we go. Starting off here. Yeah, I mean, I feel you. Starting off the show here on Charge, episode 364, we had Derek Stone and Mick back at the Wimmer, just, talking it up. There was no Cushman tonight, so there wasn't any Cushman-type conversations, I guess you could say. But there was a very good story told by Derek Stone. What did you think about Derek Stone's story, Coastal?
So I don't know if this was a conversation because technically a conversation has to have two people talking in it. And
I mean,
poor
Mick
Mick
tried.
Diamond,
Mick
I
tried.
really feel like Mick was just out there, like just sitting down, taking in the ring, taking in the area, and then Derek came and sat beside him and started story time with Derek Stone. And I mean, it was a good story. I probably can sympathize. I've been on a few car rides with people that have gone that fast, but I don't know if the time that they got pulled over, given Mick's age and Derek's age, that when this story happened, that maybe Derek was excited to meet one Mick Diamond, because I don't know if Mick Diamond was more than a thought in Daddy Mick Diamond's head at that point. Derek is quite the veteran, but I think Mick learned some things here. I really do. Mainly, number one is if you have 10 minutes or a half hour, Derek Stone's a wonderful person to have a conversation with.
Lucas?
I feel mixed pain here because I've dealt with Derek Stone plenty of times. I've had these kind of conversations where, I couldn't get a word in edgewise. So it's, I mean, hell, that's pretty much the pre-show of every Ignition that we ever did. I mean, so, but no, Derek Stone is, since now he's getting back into the ring, I think we're seeing a more animated Derek Stone. He's been almost rejuvenated. I don't know if that would be a proper word, but a little, you can see that he's got got some juice to him a little bit, just talking and everything. So it's good to see. I think getting back in the ring has gotten his juices flowing. He's been a little bit more focused and going off on these conversations. So I'm glad to see that Derek Stone has gotten refocused and having that eye on the ring. I think it's done something for him.
Oh, poor Mick finds himself in some weird situations sometimes here on Charge. It's just another
Could you
example.
imagine the conversation between Cushman and Derek Stone?
Oh my
I want to
God.
just sit down for that. I really do. That's gonna be great.
Do you think a word would be spoken?
I don't know if Cushman would say anything, but I think Derek could carry on a full conversation with Cushman without Cushman saying a single word, and they would know exactly what each other is saying.
Unless Cushman invited Derek Stone into some recreational stuff, if you know what I mean.
He might have him over for some herbal tea.
Yes.
Yeah. But the thing with Derek is he doesn't even need that. So like he's already seems like he's on something every time you talk to him. So he doesn't really need it.
It would be an enlightening conversation, I think.
Yeah.
It would be some breakthrough revelations, I believe, if Derek Stone and Cushman had a conversation.
All right, we're moving on here. Going from a lighter conversation to more of a what is going on in this situation here? Because last week we had Damon Ace talking with Lilith Grimm about the whole her and Noel situation over the course of this year. It's been well documented. Now we see him this week. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm kind of leaning towards, Lucas.
What I was saying, Lucas.
Now we see Damon talking to Jason Knoll and almost kind of stirring the pot with Jason Knoll and Sin Bodhi. It just so happens that Damon Ace lost the NRW championship to Sin Bodhi a few weeks ago. And now here we are talking to Jason Knoll about his past with Sin Bodhi, because Sin Bodhi and Jason Knoll does have a past this year. So I want to hear your guys' opinion on this. I think Lucas kind of really explained it perfectly with just his hand motions, but we'll have Lucas start off first here.
Yeah, this is obvious what Damon Ace is doing. And it doesn't even seem like he's trying to mask it, really, at least not to the common eye. Obviously, Jason Knoll, with his anger and the way we've seen Jason Knoll, he's not realizing that's what Damon Ace is doing, but everyone else can see that he's using Jason Knoll to kind of get back at Sin Bodhi, maybe soften up Simbodi a little bit. I don't know exactly what the end game is for Damon Ace, but he's obviously this is a plan of his. That whole conversation with him and Lilith, uh, the conversation they had about Noel, and then this week, Damon Ace knows exactly what he's doing. He knows exactly what buttons to push with all these people that he's been talking to. Uh, he's trying to. I'm not going to say I know exactly what the end game is, but I will say that I know that it's something to do with getting him back into the conversation of the NRW championship and getting back at Simbodi. How that's going to work out, I don't know, but this is definitely part of the plan.
Kosel.
Lucas, you're absolutely right. I mean, they're stirring the pot, and then there's being what Damon Ace is right now. And for lack of a better term, I'm going to call it a KitchenAid stand mixer because he knows exactly what he's doing. Last week, talking to Lilith. This week, talking to Jason Knoll. It has the same outcome as we see later on. Spoiler alert, we'll get to that later. But I think the final outcome here for Damon is let's see how many people he can get, not necessarily to follow him, but maybe necessarily going in the same direction as him. And then if he hangs back long enough after a stampede, maybe the carnage will clear and he can get ultimately what he wants. And we all know what that is. He wants another shot at Sin. Because for as much as he feels, as much as he's always said, the final outcome is the final outcome, it's not for Damon. The final outcome is always Damon has to win. And he didn't. And now he's trying to find his way back so he can get to that winning podium.
Now, I can understand the whole Jason Knowles Simbodi dynamic that he's trying to pull here. Why Lilith, though? That part still doesn't make sense to me.
Who fell into Sin's arms more or less at Shocktober? Noel. Who did Lilith who was Lilith upset that she felt she sacrificed everything to try and protect from the asylum and from everything else? Noel. Everything comes back to connections to Sin. It's 6 degrees of separation between Sin and Damon is trying to connect all those dots.
I mean, we didn't question Damon's intelligence, that's for sure.
Never do.
Yeah, we're seeing the more intelligent part of the violent, intelligent person. So this he's using this right now instead of the fist of fury. This is Damon's. This is where Damon is maybe even more dangerous when he's doing these kind of things.
All right, let's take a step back from stirring pots and reigniting feuds from the past here. Let's get into some action here on Charge tonight. We started off with Jake Goldie actually formally introducing himself in a video package. And, of course, going into the match tonight, Jake Goldie versus Lobo Loco Balaam here. And I got to tell you guys, before you start talking about this, I think Jake Goldie is a gem here for RMP. I don't know about you guys, but he has definitely impressed the holy hell out of me ever since he debuted and has continued to wrestle for RMP. What are your thoughts on this match? We'll start with Coastal.
No, I agree with you, Johnny. I mean, you look at what we saw tonight. The man curled Balaam and then threw him over his head. I mean, he was able to take one of, and let's face it, I mean, we've only seen Balaam come back right now after after a period off with the whole he got his revenge on Echo at Shocktober. Now he's coming back. Ring rust or not, Goldie is the real deal. He's a big guy, trained by some of the best, as he said in his promo. He is, and he's agile. That's the thing. He's able to offset Balaam's quickness, not completely, but just enough so he can, catch him out of the air and throw him over his head and things like that. But the power too with the bear hugs and just able to control the pace of the match against someone like Balaam is so important, and Goldie was able to do it. Maybe what Goldie's downfall is here is honestly just lack of experience and not knowing Balaam. I don't know how many times that they have wrestled, if at all, but you can't you have to, everything has to be one right after the other, after the other, after the other with Balaam. You can't really set things up, and that was what Goldie was trying to do here. Overall, at the end of, we see Balaam come out on top after a big Howl at the Moon, and then he's able to Dragon Sleeper tonight, which I have to admit, when you get a guy as big as Goldie, the animality may
Right,
not work.
there you go.
I don't feel so
There we
bad
go.
anymore. There we
Third
go.
time's the charm.
There we go.
The thin hair, man, it's messing with my head.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah, but the Dragon Sleeper, it's another way that we have seen Balaam come out and win a match. He's able to adapt, and that's the biggest thing, is always adapting, and Balaam is the master of that, it seems.
Jake Goldie, I've had an opportunity to call a couple of his matches. Yeah, he's been ultra impressive, not only because of his strength and the size and everything that he brings, but he's also got a very good mat game, and all of the moves that he possesses, he does so crisply. Yeah, everything was very precise. Everything that he was attacking Balaam with was right on the money. A lot of impact. Let's not forget, this guy, not only was he trained by some of the best names, but he's also an active duty Air Force member. So he's, those guys are ultra focused. They have to go through the rigors of what they have to go through the military. So he's a tough guy as well. Just very impressive. But like you guys said, Balaam, he with this, new persona, this not even really a persona, this is just his what he's morphed into. He's now this wolf, which is even more animalistic. He's got a little bit more of a bite to him. I don't mean to use kind of a bad pun, but he's got something. It's got a little bit more juice to it when he's in the ring. Everything that he does now just seems to have a little bit more. And now he's added a submission hold to his repertoire, which we already know of how many different ways he had to finish an opponent. And that Dragon Sleeper, where he grapevine the body and just squeeze the life out of Jake Goldie, that's really impressive to now have that in his repertoire. How dangerous is Balaam going to be moving forward with, everything that we already knew that Balaam had? Now he's got something else that he can use to finish off an opponent. Balaam, with everything going on, I hate to be the RMP roster. Not only, I still think there's unfinished business between him and Echo, but moving forward, if Balaam, decides he's going to be focused on a certain title or a certain path, watch out to everyone on the RMP roster.
Couldn't agree more. Yeah, what a great opening contest to really kickstart Charge here. Moving on from that match, of course, we were just talking about Echo a couple seconds ago here. Echo and Brew, talking about their plan for tonight and everything. And all of a sudden, Drop a City shows up and really kind of gets under Echo and Brew's skin a little bit here. And looks like Brew and Echo basically called the shot against Drop a City. And we'll talk about that tag team match later on this evening. But what did you guys think of that interaction between Echo and Brew and the tag champs Chop a City? Start with Lucas.
I kind of knew that this was kind of the direction that Echo was trying to go. He had mentioned about having Brew kind of start focusing on Bruce Wayne's and Atiba. So I kind of knew this was the direction that he was heading. And obviously I think that Brew's on the same page. They're on the same page. But to see right away that, Bruce Wayne's and Atiba, they heard their names being talked about. They heard it being talked about. They weren't going to just let this slide. Hey, they were ready to confront Brew and Echo, and it was kind of kind of a fun interaction, not quite as tense as you would have thought, because I don't know if Choppa City's not taking them seriously, or this is just how Choppa City is. I think they like to have fun while still, being focused. And I think they're ready for a confrontation down the line with Brew and Echo. And this is, if this is what happens, and this is the direction that we're heading in the tag team division, I'm all for it, Coastal, because I think that we're starting to see Echo and Brew really be cohesive, almost kind of like that cohesiveness when Choppa City kind of reformed, where they're getting filling each other out a little bit, and you're not quite sure, but you're starting to see things come together rather quickly.
Yeah, Lucas, I agree. I mean, if this is the direction that the tag team division is going, we are going to see a hell of a collision when these two teams meet up, because they match up great. You got the two big hosses in Brew and Bruce Wayans. You have your high flyers and your high impact guys in Atiba and Echo Boosin. I mean, I don't know what more you can ask for. I think what Chopper City needs to figure out is these guys really are on the same page, even though they may not have a name per se. Chopper City needs to focus less on the accoutrement, if you will, that comes with the tag team, and then the content, because while Echo and Brew could basically just be Echo and Brew, they don't need a fancy name like Choppa City. They're gonna hit the hell out of you. And the sooner that Bruce and Atiba figure that out, the better. Because if not, Chopper City could be not having a celebration parade, but maybe a day of mourning in Chopper City if they lose those belts, if they're not that focused.
All right. Well, moving on from that, we're going to take a quick 2-minute break here. We're going to start paying some bills real quick. When we come back, we'll talk about our first match. Yes, we'll talk about our first match that was announced for No Thanksgiving coming up on November 2nd, which is only a few weeks away. So hang tight. We'll be back in 2 minutes for some more Dudes and Belts Recharge.
Don't miss a moment of Rocky Mountain Pro action with options that suit your tastes and needs. Check out new episodes of Charged and Ignition. Interact with your favorite stars and personalities, all for free. Subscribe on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick, or follow us on Rumble. Upgrade to the pay-per-view membership on YouTube and don't miss out on any past and present special events and episodes of Charged with more content added all the time. Check us out on any of these platforms and search RMP Wrestling to get more pro wrestling elevated.
Gregory Rise locked into this time. He catches all of it. World's prettiest elbow you saw here on Charge. And the ring couldn't even take the impact. No. What a frog splash. Here we are once again.
And we are back. I'm pretty sure we're back. Yes, we're back. I always have to double check to make sure I hit the mute button.
We there?
We here.
We're everywhere.
We here.
All right. Everywhere.
Let's continue on with our conversation here on Rocky Mountain Pro Charge, episode 364 that just aired about a half hour ago, 45 minutes. Let's talk about Dean and Sergey backstage. Now, I'm not going to get too much into it because I know you guys really want to talk about this segment, but all that I can say is after this segment, we officially have a match set up for No Thanksgiving between Briscoe Crown and Sergey, with some stipulation to it as well. And I'll let these guys go right ahead and announce that. Starting with Coastal.
So I mean, Dean was gone for a little bit training, and I guess he missed where you can cash in the Ignition Championship for a charge title, and he's all for that. But Briscoe is the charge champion, and he does have some some regulations on this. And if Sergey really wants to prove that Sergey Mania can run wild throughout the Wimmer and throughout Colorado, he needs to train real hard and take his vitamins and say his prayers. And then on November 2nd at No Thanksgiving, we are going to see Briscoe and Sergey go at it. And if Sergey can win, he will get that coveted shot at the charge title. And Lucas, can you imagine if Sergey was able to not defeat Briscoe once, but twice and become the charge champion?
Oh my goodness. You know, we talked about this when Sergey won the Ignition title, that Sergey's confidence started to really, start to grow, and it's gotten bigger and bigger, more confident. And I'm almost wondering if he's gotten a little overconfident because, he now believes that he's, ready for that next step, the charge championship. And let's say that he has racked up some wins. He mentioned it during his conversation with Dean of all the people that he's beaten, and he's not wrong. He's gotten a nice win total racked up as being a Ignition champion. But there's been times that when he's had that opportunity to really showcase that he's ready, he's done some things that makes you think maybe he's not quite ready, like what we saw last week on Charged. He damn near had Briscoe beat, but just did that move off the top rope and try to come down with that chop. Briscoe catches him with the drop kick, and Briscoe able to get the win. Is he ready for this? Because now he is essentially giving up his Ignition title just to go after the charge championship. Now he has to beat Briscoe first in this non-title matchup coming up at No Thanksgiving. So that gives him an opportunity. I believe that he will still be able to keep his Ignition title, win or lose in that matchup. But let's say he gets through that match, then everything's on the line. So, but he's got to get through Briscoe, and Briscoe, he coming off that injury, he looked really good against Sergey last week. He's only going to just get better and better as the weeks go by. This is a tall task for Sergey.
It is, Lucas. I had the luxury of, after Shocktober, being out there for the weekend. I got to see Briscoe at Snowpack. I also got to see him at Ramiro's, and he looked great both of those. I really like this decision by Briscoe / Dean, as Sergey saying, hey, if you can beat Briscoe at No Thanksgiving, go ahead. You can challenge for it. You've earned that, but you also have to put something up. It puts the ball back in Sergey's court. It makes him say, I pinned him once, but now I really have to put a lot of meaningful things up to think I can do it again. So it's ultimate motivation for Sergey.
You think he has it in him?
It's hard to tell with Sergey. Depends on what Sergey has for a move set that day.
It also depends, how focused he can stay. Can he stay focused and not do things that are a little bit out of his realm of comfort? If he's trying to do more moves off the top rope, that's not good, especially against a guy like Briscoe, who is very comfortable on the ropes. So that's he needs to stick to what he's good at, his wheelhouse. It's kind of keeping things on the mat, keeping things grounded. Those chops have seemed to worked out pretty well for Sergey as of late. So he just needs to stay focused in this matchup. Then he's got a chance, but that we know that Sergey can't always stay focused.
Yeah, and just make sure that there's no doors involved in the match either, because I'm pretty sure he almost knocked himself out with that door behind him. So.
Oh, and did we also not? We forgot to mention that he grabbed the boom mic and was talking into the boom mic. Did we forget to talk about?
He's super serious. That Sergey, he's ready to go.
He wanted to make sure his voice was heard, Lucas.
Yeah, I don't think he understands how boom mics work. They pick up literally everything.
That is how boom mic works in Sergey, Russia. You speak directly into boom mic in Russia.
Yeah. Well, we definitely heard everything that he said, for sure.
All right. Moving on here, we do have some Lockets action to talk about this evening, as we had, I guess you could say, the Haas fight of the Lockets division here between Lilith Grimm and Midnight. Let's start with Lucas here. What did you think about this match here? It's hard hitting from the get-go.
Yeah, it was everything that I thought it would be. The two strongest, toughest Lockets that we have just going at it. It's like, I wasn't sure if Haas fight was the right word, but I would say in this case, this was two lady Haas's just going at it.
I know it sounds weird, but
yeah, it does, but it kind of is.
I think it was two mama bears going at it.
Yeah,
there you go. There you go.
Yeah, a mama bear fight. I'll go with that. But yeah, it was a lot of them hitting out their power moves. But to be honest with you, I think that Midnight was honestly the aggressor in this matchup. Had a little bit more of the power moves. Was able to kind of get down Lilith Grimm more often than Lilith was able to get an advantage over Midnight in this matchup. We saw a couple huge clotheslines from Midnight that about took Lilith's head off, just able to really overpower Lilith at times, which is very surprising because we know that Lilith's got that powerlifting background, but Midnight showing that she can be the most dominant Lockette. It's just at times I'm not sure. Midnight just hasn't been able to kind of get over the hump in matches where she controls 90% of the match. It's figuring out how to close matches. That's where she's had a hard time. Once again, it kind of came into play too. We saw Lilith Grimm hit that Blue Thunder Bomb kind of out of nowhere, and that was it. The Blue Thunder Bomb won the match. Lilith Grimm was able to defeat Midnight, and we saw some aggression out of Lilith Grimm, a little bit more aggression than what we've been seeing. And of course, we saw a lot of aggression later on, which we'll talk about. But yeah, Coastal, this match, it was just a little bit of Lilith Grimm surviving Midnight's onslaught there.
Well, I agree with you to a point, Lucas, but I think what Lilith Grimm has realized over this is with someone like Midnight, you can't be the aggressor. I think she's realized that you kind of have to pick and choose. And this isn't the first time she's gone up against Midnight. We know it certainly won't be the last. But I think what she has learned over this is Midnight is the aggressor 100% of the time. So what do? It's kind of like fishing. You catch and release. Let them come to you. Take a little bit of punishment, get that line taut, and then let it go a little bit, then reel it in. And that's exactly what Lilith did tonight. She took some punishment. She picked her spots, and she got a big win. And I think that's something that she's evolved over time. We remember seeing her early on in the Warhammer, even back in the Demon days, and she was that gas pedal down, 100%, take the fight to you. I think she's learned over time she can maybe take a little bit of punishment, but pick her spots better, and that's exactly what she's doing. And honestly, if I'm Mascara, I'm a little worried about Lilith Grimm coming back for that title.
All right, wait a second. What is this? Oh, hey, look, a sub. What do you mean? Oh, we have a subscription over on Twitch, and it doesn't pop up on the restream chat. Shocker. Okay. Well, thank you, Yay and Twitch. Thank you, Yay and RMP, subscribing with Prime for 59 months.
It's a lot of months.
It's a lot of months. That's a lot of years. And what's up,
Yeah,
Scooter?
didn't
What's up,
didn't
Scooter,
show
on
up on mine
Twitch?
either.
No, I see it on the actual Twitch chat, but I have
Like 6 years.
yeah,
No,
that's about right.
well, not years, months. It's 6 months.
No.
Oh, wait,
No,
how much? How
You
many?
said
How many years?
59 months.
59 months. Oh God, we're doing
Yeah,
math
that's
here.
almost
Come
6
on.
years. Yeah.
Oh, that is, yeah, that is almost 6 years. That's Twitch
Yeah.
been around that long, for crying out loud?
That's
In
a
case
lot.
in
That's
case you
6
haven't
years.
noticed, math is not the Dudes and Belts strong suit. In case you haven't noticed.
well, English at times isn't our strong suit either. There's a lot of things that aren't our strong suit.
Oh, English, phrasing, time
Phrasing.
zones, math.
Phrasing. Definitely phrasing.
Oh, man. All right. Where are we here? Oh, for the first time in a while, we had a law office segment. What do you guys think about Lola's fire and Preston's ultimatum to Lola?
I think Lola is ready to do whatever she needs to do. And I say that based upon her actions the last few weeks. And I'm not judging Lola. Listen, I understand.
Yes, you are.
Get to a point. No, I'm not. You get to a point where just nothing is working. And you're trying to walk that line. And you reach a point where you have to make a decision. How bad do you want to succeed? Are you willing to sacrifice some things you weren't before to get what you want now? And maybe she is now. And I definitely think she is now, based upon what we saw in Shocktober and what we have seen previous to that. She's ready. And she's telling Preston that she's ready to do whatever it takes. And they mentioned J.K. Pop. We all knew what it took. So I think we're going to start to see some maybe not so great things out of Lola coming up. Just going to say, don't be shocked if you see Lola maybe take the lower road to things around the mountain.
Or at least an attitude change.
Yeah. I think we've already seen that, Johnny.
Yeah, but more aggressiveness, I think. Lucas, what do you think?
Well, first off, I got to ask a question. Do you guys prefer the orange suit, or do you prefer the Dave Coulier, Uncle Joey from Full House look that he's got going on? Because
I would prefer.
I gotta go with Dave Coulier.
I don't know.
The poo's awful.
Yeah, but all joking aside, I think you're right, Coastal. I think this is a almost a desperation attempt from Lola to really just do anything to get her career going, and to you got to be desperate if you're trying to stalk friggin' Preston. I mean, who does that? Like who wants to purposely be around Preston Skidmore? Like nobody purposely tries to get around that guy. So if you're purposely trying to,
I tried to avoid him.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, and she jumping in front of his car and then getting in his car. She's using his vocabulary, for crying out loud. She used the ergo.
She did say ergo. Oh.
Yeah. So I'm not only am I worried about what Lola's going to do as far as maybe taking some shortcuts and things like that, I'm worried that she's turning into somebody that we wouldn't even want to hang out with. Because if she's turning into Preston's
she's turning into Kaden Koyama.
Yeah, that's not good. But maybe it will be good for her wrestling career, because obviously Kaden has had a hell of a career. He's had a lot of success. If she can somehow duplicate that by, getting some help from Preston, well, then maybe it'll be worth it. I don't know.
To paraphrase a very famous wrestler, you can have friends, you can have money. Lola's made her friends. I think now she's ready for money and championship.
Yes. Unfortunately, I think you're right.
Now, my question is, where was this 6 to 8 months ago when the law office was the hottest thing going in RMP in one way or another? Some would say that they're still poop, but at the same time, they had the tag team champions. They had the Ignition champion at one point with Sky Hossman. Why did it take this long for Lola to actually take Preston in the law office that seriously now?
Johnny, pride is a hell of a thing. It will stop you from doing a lot of things. It can help you to do a lot of things. And I think that was Lola's dilemma. It was, I can't take that low road. I can't do it. I can't do these things. People look at me. People depend on me. And now I think she's just like, screw it. I want me. She's putting herself first.
Yeah, that need for success, that need for getting to the promised land that you want in your career. That'll make you do some things that you normally wouldn't do, some things that you wouldn't be proud of. But
Look at Curtis Cole.
Exactly. Of course, he's a piece of crap.
Well, that's true. Yeah, sorry.
We'll talk about him a little bit later on.
Do we have to?
Yes, we do. It's
Yeah.
part of our job. We got to do it.
Pretty big stuff happening with him.
All right. Moving on to the main event of the evening, we had some tag team action. Coastal's favorite match of all time, of course. We had Echo and Brew going up against your NRW champions, Sim Bodie and Mr. Happy. Coastal, you have the floor.
A lot of people would think that this is kind of a weird match because not really either team is a tag team per se, but they both are. We've seen Sin and Happy tag before. We know Echo and Brew are on the same page right now. And from what I saw in this was a very back and forth tag team match. This had everything you wanted. It had the two big guys, Sin and Brew, going at it, hitting each other with high impact moves. You have Happy, who I said was a clown of 1,013 holds. I think he made up a couple more while he was in this match. He's innovative. He is something out of the ring. Like, you just can't describe what Mr. Happy is in a wrestling ring. But he and Sin get along quite well. But here's the problem. Those two have so much fun together that sometimes when other people like to have different kinds of fun, let's put it as not so much sanctioned fun, that is when Sin's temper gets the best of him. We see it now. He gets near the end of the match. He gets, away from the ring, and poor Mr. Happy takes a camel clutch drop kick to the big rubber nose, if you will. Not so funny. Echo and Brew pick up a big win here. This is a big, big win for them because not only did they beat another tag team, they beat the NRW champion. They beat a returning Mr. Happy. And they're beating a now group, and we'll see this a little bit later. I don't mean to get ahead of myself. But a group that's trying to gain some traction in RMP, where we have seen that when you have the numbers, you have the success.
Yeah. I also got to give you props. You had the call of the night with that very innovative, the double monkey mockingbird buffalo flip, which was,
Yes.
that was, I had never seen someone pull off a double monkey flip like Sin did against both Brew and Echo at the same. Yeah, they flipping them both. That was very innovative. I love this matchup. It was a very entertaining matchup. A lot of stuff going on. But yeah, how impressive was it that Echo and Brew were able to, they were able to isolate Mr. Happy during this matchup and get him get him on a 2-on-1 situation in the ring, able to have that great double team maneuver and pull off this victory. These are, it wasn't just a run of the mill win. They were going up against two veteran guys who have, been teaming with one another, or at least have been together and cohesive for quite a while. as part of the 3-ring circus. So it was it was now I think everyone has to take Brew and Echo very seriously. If they weren't already taking them seriously before, now this win, I think, legitimizes that duo. I think really legitimizes what they're about and what they're capable of. Not only are they, capable of causing chaos, out of the ring as far as, beating up poor cameramen and sneak attacking uh, Balaam and all the things they've done, causing chaos over the past couple months. But now what they're capable of doing in the ring as a team, this is really legitimized Brew and Echo going forward, and that challenge that or what seems like a challenge that they've laid on to Choppa City. I think this was their kind of coming out moment tonight.
I'm glad you went back and mentioned what they said to Chopper City, because it's exactly what I think they said. Hey, watch us later tonight. And if I'm Chopper City, I'm like, oh, these boys came to play, because they absolutely did. Chopper City, take notice.
Yep, they're going to have to take notice because who knows? Maybe rather soon we might have a run in between these two teams, possibly for those tag titles. Who knows? We don't know what the future holds just yet, but I can tell you right now, Brew and Echo definitely put a good step forward into being in the running for those tag team titles in the future with a huge win against the NRW NRW champion Simbodi, which you saw what he went through a couple weeks ago during that Carnival Death match, man. I got to give props to him just for, being upright after that.
Yeah.
And Mr. Happy just coming back and looking as fluid as he did was definitely a good sign, at least for the side of Simbodi and Mr. Happy. But I mean, God, Brew and Echo, if they continue this role and they stay on the same page, look out, cookout, because these boys are going to be gunning for those titles, and they have a very good, legitimate shot in capturing those titles if they keep on this roll. Speaking of Simbodi and Mr. Happy, we saw them backstage after the match, kind of talking things over and all that stuff, and then all of a sudden they catch out of the corner of their eye Noel getting jumped by Lilith. So they try to break that up, and then here comes Jason Knoll, and now you're thinking about what happened at the beginning of the episode, and actually the past couple of weeks with Damien Ace talking to Lilith Grimm and Jason Knoll. It kind of culminated right there, and if I'm Damon Ace right now, I'm just sitting down in my recliner and just enjoying what's going on right now in that locker room between those 4 or 5 guys. What do you guys think about that?
I gotta say one thing here. We hear Jason Knoll talk about how he won't be made an example of, and he won't be toyed with. Jason, but I am extremely sorry to let you know that you were just made a pawn by Damon Ace. Damon played you, and Lilith, he's playing you too. Yes, he's garnering on what you guys are already feeling, but he's making you take those emotions and turn them up to 20 instead of 12.
Wait, I'm sorry. I have to interrupt real quick. Hold that thought. We did have another subscription over on Twitch. Again, my alerts are not coming up on this chat, so I got to switch back over to Twitch from time to time, and we do have Twister Chaser 91 subscribing to Tier 1 for 11 months, currently on an 8-month streak, as a matter of fact. So thank you for that sub, Twister Chaser 91. All right, cool. So
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no, Damon is being a puppet master here. And for as much as, this was Lilith and Jason trying to take out what they feel they're owed, Damon orchestrated this. So the overall winner here is Damon Ace.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, this is Damon Ace. You're right. I can just picture him now with a big smile on his face, a big sinister smile, just basking in his work that he did. This is his work. It's everything that he's been planning over the past couple weeks is now coming into fruition, and he's enjoying it. And yeah, I don't know if Jason Knoll and Lilith are ever going to realize that this is what happened, because now I think that they have a anger directed towards Noel, directed towards Sin and Mr. Happy. I think they're focused on that. I don't think they're going to see what's being done right now until this is all over with, and who knows how long this will go on, because you're dealing with some unstable people as far as Noel and Sin and Mr. Happy. You saw the aftermath. I mean, these guys were laughing about what was happening. They were just in basically a street fight, getting pummeled, and they're having a good laugh about this. That's not normal. So I don't. This thing isn't going to go away anytime soon. You're dealing with a bunch of unstable people, two angry people in Lilith and Jason Noel. So yeah, this is going to last. I think quite a while, and Damon's going to love every minute of it.
What scares me the most is perhaps Happy and Noel were laughing about what is going to happen next, and that's even scarier.
Yes.
No one said that group was stable. That's for sure.
They are stable, but they certainly are anything but.
No, mentally stable, I mean.
Oh, God, no.
All right. Then, of course, to wrap up the show, we have the interaction between Dak Draper and Curtis Cole. We know their history going way back in the NRW days and early RMP days. We saw what happened at Shocktober during the main event, where Dak Draper almost cost Curtis Cole that Rocky Mountain Pro Championship. We see the face-to-face. The challenge was laid out, easily accepted by Dak Draper. Boys, I think we have our main event for No Thanksgiving in a few weeks. What do you think about this upcoming matchup between Curtis Cole and Dak Draper?
I gotta say, this is everything. For as much as we said Damon was a puppet master, this is what Dak wanted, I think. You see Dak, he looks calm, cool, collected. He's just sitting there. Like, he knows everything Curtis is going to do. He knew how Curtis was going to react. He just sat there. Like, he seemed like he knew everything Curtis was going to say. And when Curtis was like, well, let's just finish it out, he's like, I'm glad we agree on something. He didn't even need to ask. He didn't need to demand anything, Lucas. All Dak Draper had to do was sit there and let the temper tantrum that was Curtis Cole happen.
Because he's living in his head rent-free right now, 100%.
One thing I do know about Curtis Cole, it's easy to trigger him. It is. We know.
We've all done it.
Yeah, we've all been part of his rage once he throws his temper tantrums. If you make him mad and he feels he's getting disrespected or whatever, yeah.
Oh, I'm sure he'll yell about this.
Yeah. It's easy to trigger him. And so, Dak didn't even really have to do a whole hell of a lot, but he knew what he was doing. And this is what he wanted, and he's getting what he wanted. So, but I will say this, let's not, I know maybe a few months ago, we would have thought that this would be, pretty easy for Dak, but let's talk about Curtis Cole now. He's on a hell of a roll, as since winning that title against David Drake, doing basically what we didn't think could get done. And since then, he beat one of the all-time greats here in Rocky Mountain Pro, President Danger Dean. He's every match he's had on Charge, he's absolutely dominated. This now, Curtis Cole has shown he can withstand a lot. As much as we hate him, he can withstand so much. And we know how great Dak is. Dak is maybe one of the greatest athletes that's ever stepped foot into Rocky Mountain Pro. But this is not going to be quite as easy as we might have once thought. We just know that Curtis Cole has somehow gotten even better than he was even before. And we know how good he was before, but I think he is as good as he's ever been. And this is going into No Thanksgiving. I am, as a wrestling fan, I am going to thoroughly enjoy watching this match. Obviously, I'm going to be rooting for Dak, but just as a pure wrestling fan, this is going to be one hell of a match.
All right. And besides that, that concludes this episode of Rocky Mountain Pro Charge, episode 364. Boys, final thoughts on this evening's episode before we begin to close this out.
We're laying the groundwork for No Thanksgiving. It's going to be amazing. It is definitely something you can't miss. Make sure you subscribe at tier 2 for $9.99 so you don't miss that. And all the other great action that you get every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday for the rewind. You can see how it all started and all of the base that is Rocky Mountain Pro Wrestling.
Yeah, this was a great night of just things starting to come into we're just barely getting over Shocktober, and we've had so many things happening over the past 2 weeks now that it's like we're already full steam ahead into No Thanksgiving. We can barely catch our breath. So we're already into full steam for No Thanksgiving at the beginning of November. This is just nonstop action when you're watching Rocky Mountain Pro. It's great.
All right, I'm just getting myself set up over here. We're going to actually try and raid for the first time in, I think, like a year and a half. So this is going to be very interesting, at least over on Twitch.
Can you still raid? Nice.
Yeah, we can, actually. But anyways, so we have a few matches set up for No Thanksgiving already. There will be more matches to come over the coming weeks leading into the big event, November 2nd, which is a Thursday. There will be a pre-show that begins right around 6 p.m. Mountain Now time with the first bell of No Thanksgiving starting at 7 p.m. Mountain Now time, which if you're on the East Coast, 2 hours ahead, you're talking 9 p.m. Eastern Now time is when everything is going to transpire over here for No Thanksgiving. So make sure you are subscribed for Tier 2 on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Rocky Mountain Pro for $9.99. Not only will you get all the Tier 1 perks with the loyalty badges and the emotes and the once-a-month membership-only chat live stream with RMP Talent, but you will get not only No Thanksgiving, but every pay-per-view in the future, as well as every pay-per-view from Rocky Mountain Pro's past, as long as you keep up that Tier 2 membership of $9.99. As of right now, confirmed matches, Remy D. Don't forget, Remy D has won his chance to get his hands on CBD. That is going to happen at No Thanksgiving. We also have Sergey that was announced tonight from Danger Dean. Sergey going up against Briscoe. And if Sergey wins this match, he will have a charge title shot at the next Supercharge coming up right after No Thanksgiving. And we can only assume, although it's not officially confirmed by the president himself, but it looks like we are going to have a main event between Curtis Cole and Dax Draper for that Rocky Mountain Pro Heavyweight Championship. Many more matches will be announced later on, but other than that, that's what No Thanksgiving is looking like as of this moment. Make sure you keep on tuning into Rocky Mountain Pro Charge. That airs every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Mountain Now time, 8 p.m. on the East Coast, followed up by this show, Dudes and Belts Recharge, and we'll go over everything that happened during the course of that episode, just like we did tonight. And also, don't forget, we have Ignition on Thursday. Pre-show starts at 6:15 Mountain Now time, and first bell will be at 6:30. And then right after that, you will get Dudes and Belts Reignited with myself and Marky Pins, who you saw in the ring roughing this evening. And other than that, that's all we got going for this week. I know there is a Summit Taco that's supposed to be coming around the corner. I believe it's Saturday, the 21st in Longmont, I do believe.
Yep, Longmont is correct. I don't remember the exact address, but
I don't
it's
either.
Up in Longmont. But yeah, 6 o'clock
Tacos
is
and wrestling sounds awesome.
Yeah, so supposed to be 6 o'clock Mountain Now time. So
Yeah, see, it's catching on.
It is.
Yeah.
But, and also, as always, every Sunday, we go back in the time machine. We do the Rocky Mountain Rewind. Dudes and Belts present that show. I will be hosting that show, and we go back in time to the early days of Rocky Mountain Pro, before it was even Rocky Mountain Pro, back in the NRW days. Right now, we are just starting the first couple episodes of Charge that you watch every Tuesday.
Charge episode 3.
Episode 3. So the show that you're watching every Tuesday night, we are now officially on that path. We're on episode 3, and I think we're going to get through 2 episodes, so we'll have episodes 3 and 4 this Sunday planned for the show. Other than that, I think that's all the spiel I have for right now. Do you guys have anything to add? I think I covered it.
No, I think you covered everything. Just stay tuned up for Ignition on Thursday, because you never know who's going to join me on commentary. I had the Lockheads champion join me on commentary. So who's going to be my guest commentator this week? You'll just have to tune in.
Sergey!
That would be awesome. That was my funnest time ever doing commentaries with Sergey.
Oh, I forgot to mention, there will be a couple changes coming up, I believe, starting next month. I believe we are going to try and get the founder of Rocky Mountain Pro, Mercury, on with us to kind of give those announcements personally from him to explain everything that's going on. And I believe other than that, we are good to go here. So what we're going to do is, for all you guys over on Twitch, and I know there's a few of you, I believe, we're going to try and do this raid thing, which, to be completely honest with you, I don't see a button here, and I completely forgot how to raid. So I just kind of stumped myself here for a second. There's a command, though. Where's the command? Oh, I think I know what it is.
You're out of practice, Johnny. You're out of practice.
I got to get on it. Is that it? Yes. Okay. I hope that's the right name. Yes, I did it. All right, we're going to be raiding over to Wrestling Leva, which I believe it's Leva Bates, formerly from AEW. So we're going to send you guys over there. Thank you guys so much for watching it on Twitch. For myself, Johnny Deathdrop, Coast Crusader, and Lucas Bradwell, we'll see you guys next Thursday. Well, not next Thursday. This Thursday for another episode of Dudes and Belts Reignited. As always, stay safe, stay classy, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care, folks. And now I'll take care of Twitch. So I still have Rumble and YouTube. All right. YouTube and Rumble, I'm not going to go through the whole spiel again. You already know. We'll see you on Thursday for another episode of Dudes and Belts Reignited with myself and Marky Pins. As always, stay safe, stay classy, and we'll see you on the next one.